What is up, my brothers from another mother and those rational sisters from another mister? It's been a long week. I'm going to bang out this video as best as I can, though. Got a video topic request from a subscriber, and he wants me to do a video on trust. Got a bit of a long pitch here, but I'm going to read through it quickly. He goes, can you make a video on trust in a relationship? My relationship of 3 years ended due to lack of trust on my side, and I had multiple reasons throughout the relationship to always feel a lack of trust. I just want to hit on one thing since you're talking about this with your multiple reasons. If you're the kind of person that goes looking for trouble, you're going to find it 100% of the time. So if you're going to go looking for dirt on anybody, whether it's in a relationship, somebody that you're friends with, if it's a business transaction, I guarantee 100% of the time you're going to find something. So just view it from the lens or from the perspective that you will be finding stuff that will piss you off if you're going to go looking for it. He goes, we've been away for a few months and now with no contact, so they've broken up. I blocked her from everything to attempt to move on. That's a pretty good tip. Actually, on the top right of the screen, I'll put up my tips for dealing with a breakup. I did it about a year and a half ago, but it still gets some pretty good views. And I've had sex with other women, but I just cannot have any solid connection or feel anything for another woman. Totally get that. I'm not sure if I just fucked up by not trusting or if it was her not providing enough reasons to trust her again. She had broken up with me in November and started dating a guy 11 years older. In brackets, he says, seems like a lot to me since she was 20. 11 years difference between a woman and a guy is not that much. I did a video recently, card up again. 10, 15, even 20 years difference is reasonably doable between older men and younger women for a whole bunch of reasons. Again, check out the card. Then for about 2 months, in January, she comes back telling me how she didn't love him and missed him, so she decided to try things again. So my friend, fella, you've become her second choice. Where is it? There it is. All right. If you have not read The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi, the link to the book is below. You should grab a copy. Iron Rule of Tomassi number 7. I'm going to make references to these, I think, more and more in the future with these types of videos because they're just so on point. Anyway, Iron Rule of Tomassi number 7. It is always time and effort better spent developing new, fresh, prospective women than it will ever be in attempting to reconstruct a failed relationship. By the way, ladies, this applies to you. You know, if you're trying to rekindle with a guy. Never root through the trash. Once the garbage has been dragged to the curb, you get messy, your neighbors see you do it, and what you thought was worth digging for is never as valuable as you thought it was. Make sense? Don't rekindle old loves that have fallen apart and broken up. Trust me, I've done it. It is a waste of your fucking time. Okay, so she comes back to me in March. You've taken her back. You mentioned a long-distance relationship. I mean, you've done a whole bunch of things wrong here. You've gone looking for trouble. You've taken, the trash back in after you dropped it off of the curb or it took itself to the curb. Anyway, you used to live together. I could go on and on. Never live with a woman unless you're within 6 months of getting married. It's just not a good thing. Again, that's another iron rule of Tomassi. But what it basically does is it removes competition anxiety. I'll do a separate video later on in the future, but I want to stay on point with trust. And everything was perfect up until the end of April. Again, you had trust issues because she treated me one way, and then when she came back to you, but seemed distant and frigid all of a sudden, and I had a feeling she was interested in somebody else. All right, I got to get a move on here. So let's talk some experience and some of my initial feelings on that video. See? Anyway, so we're talking about your trust issues. One of the things I want to mention here with a lot of relationships, and I've really suffered from this in the past too. Like I've really screwed up here, if I'm being completely honest with my own experiences. But guys tend to, I don't know what it is about guys. I've coached over 60 people now on clarity, and most of the conversations have to do with relationships, evaluating relationships. I do some stuff on business, but for the most part, it's guys trying to figure out, where they stand. Gentlemen, you don't own your woman. She's not yours. She's only with you right now. Let me say that again. You do not own your girlfriend, your wife, your spouse, your partner, whatever, your boyfriend, ladies, if you're watching this, or your boyfriend if you're gay, doesn't matter. You don't own them. They're not yours. You don't have any rights to them. You know, I remember when I was a kid growing up, there was a wicked funny stand-up comedy by Eddie Murphy. I don't know if it was Raw or Delirious. And me and my buddies, we used to laugh about it all the time. There was a scene where he was talking about amazing sex. Amazing sex. The mountains would crumble down to the sea and there would be an S-cape hanging out of her vajizzle because it would be so great. And you'd get into that. You'd just be like, with your buddies making fun of it. Yeah, that's right. Just grinding it. Bow, chicka, bow, wow. Right? And you'd be going, whose pussy is this? It's not yours. None of it is yours. She's only with you right now. It is only your time. The vast majority of people that connect with a partner on an intimate relationship level do not last for a lifetime. We don't go to work at the toothpaste factory or the automotive plant and work there for 40, 50 years and then retire and get the gold watch. We don't stay in relationships forever. It's just not the world that we live in. We have to stop entering these relationships with the lens or the view that you own the other person, that you have rights to them, or they have, or they have rights to you. The other thing that you got to consider from what I was reading there in the general tone, and I've seen a few of your other comments in some of the other videos too, is you've got to get through your head that, you see, the person with the most to lose in a relationship is in the weakest position. Okay. Again, this is also talked about a lot in The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi when it comes to intergender relationships. But you've got to, if you had taken the red pill, you wouldn't be writing asking questions about trust. You just have to, until it's breached or broken or you've been given reason not to trust, just expect things to be as they are. Just be present. Okay, so I challenge you guys right now to consider a moment or an opportunity where you dealt with the trust issue yourself, guys and girls. I love seeing the comments from the ladies, by the way. There's some really rational women out there that say some intelligent things. And in the comments below, I want to hear about a story or a time when you had dealt with a trust issue and how you dealt with it. Those are my best tips, guys. You got to open your eyes and really view the world through a lens of red pill vision. Stop relying too much on these relationships to define who you are. A woman should complement your life. They shouldn't be the focus of your life. And I'm seeing a lot of commentary and a lot of questions or topic suggestions that kind of, it's almost like you're orbiting around this relationship or you're orbiting around the woman. And it shouldn't be the case. There should be a natural balance, like a yin and yang to it. There should be a complement to your life, not you making her the focus of your life. And the back and forth and the long distance relationship and the breakup and getting back together and she monkey branches to another guy and comes back to you. Leave some comments below, guys. I want to hear from you in the community on this one. That's my take on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Of course, smash the like button. I've mentioned this before and I'm going to keep mentioning in videos. The whole ad gate thing that happened with YouTube has destroyed ad revenue. It's down over 80% still. If you'd like to support the channel, one of the best things you can do is, of course, like, comment, subscribe, share this with somebody that needs to see it. If you want to become a Patreon, again, cards up at the top. Would love to feel the support and the love. And one of the best ways is, of course, my coaching business through clarity.fm. So if you want to deal with a problem that you're stuck on, of course, the links are always there. Feel free to book my time. Let's have a conversation. Huge 5-star rating. I'm very grateful to the people that have reached out and booked a call and offered their support to the channel that way. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.